begin with this update where the Tamil Nadu government has decided to move the Supreme Court, challenging the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court's order, cancelling the government jobs that was granted to families of the victims of the Karur Stampede. Now, the appointments issued by the TVK government as a relief measure were struck down by the High Court. Following discussions with the Chief Minister and legal experts, the state has now decided to approach the top court as further details are awaited. So, Varshini, the very context that the Madurai bench had earlier made it clear that employment offered by the TVK government would be a subject to judicial review. And is that the possible reason that we are now looking at the matter that has now been raised before the Supreme Court?
The Tamil Nadu government has already issued these job orders to the families of the victims of the Karur Stampede, which has also given them a lot of hope. And that is why this is very important for the government to ensure that these people who have received these job orders will be able to join the government jobs and start working and get their livelihoods better. But right now, with the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court quashing these job orders, stating that it is unfair to give these job orders when many such victims and their families are existing in the state, and only specifically to one set of victims who are, who lost their lives, in fact, at a political rally and not at a public gathering or anything else, is not fair, is what the Madurai bench had stated. It had also damned the Tamil Nadu government on many reasons for the same issue. Therefore, now the Tamil Nadu government has moved an appeal in the Supreme Court challenging the Madurai bench's order, which came in a few days ago. We are also given to understand that the Chief Minister also mentioned that it is he is very keen on ensuring that these people who were given these jobs get to keep it and get to start working, and that is why they have moved to the Supreme Court. So we'll have to wait and see how this case is going to head towards. But it looks like the government is very keen on ensuring that the victims and the families are able to keep up the jobs that they have provided with.
Yes, but, talk us through as far as this meeting had happened earlier this month, because at least 32 of the legal heirs of the victims who lost their lives in the stampede, these were, appointments that were given on compassionate grounds as part of the state government's relief and rehabilitation measures that was aimed at providing financial security to the bereaved families, Varshini.
Absolutely, yes. These job orders were given on compassionate grounds, and they were also, Tamil Nadu government and TVK as a party as well, and therefore this was also that similar to those monetary compensation, a job order was also given to these families of the victims. And what is important to note here is that these jobs are very ordinary jobs, very menial jobs, is what the Tamil Nadu government also in fact mentioned in the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court during their argument in this matter. It stated that this will not affect a lot of people because these are very ordinary jobs like cleaning jobs and security jobs and assistant jobs. But the Madurai bench in fact mentioned about how, there are people who are preparing and giving competitive exams and making
So let me take up that question with Mr. Saeed Hafiz joining us here on the broadcast. Saeed ji, how are you viewing at this development as far as, the Madurai bench earlier made it clear that the employment offer made by the TVK would be subject to judicial review. So that means that they have decided to knock the doors of the Supreme Court.
So this is expected from the TVK government. This is nothing but shows the clarity that the TVK as a party does not want to own the onus. What we have been saying is that the party should take responsibility of the kith and kin of the victims who died in the stampede. Rather than making it a party affair, he's making it as a government affair. At a point where at least lakhs of people are writing for 1,000 jobs. So that is against the interest of the aspiring youths who want to be in the government job system. This is unfortunate. The youths, I think, are unhappy with the way the TVK government is using this as using the government for their personal gain. When it comes to compassionate ground, as court has rightly asked, there are very many people who have been waiting before this in the queue. Why is that bypassing Karur issue alone is a logical question that was discussed
because
in the court.
It came from the court that these appointments were actually in violation of the principles enshrined in Article 14 and Article 16 of the Constitution, and which is right to equality and also equality of opportunity in government employment of the Constitution. Thank you very much, Saeed sir, for joining us here on the broadcast. To you.